Tuesday again. This is Joyce in Avon, New York, a delightful quilting and sewing, a Nolting dealer. Today I wanted to talk about not so much thread, but the bobbin winder, because how you wind your bobbins will be successful or not successful when you're sewing. You may end up with tension issues or no tension issues. So let's see how we use the Nolting bobbin winder. My bobbin winder is back here on my table, and the bobbin winder consists of a post for the thread, a tension disc very similar to what we have on our sewing machine, our long arm machine, and a motor, and of course a spindle with a bobbin, and then we have an on-off switch right here. And the Nolting bobbin winders are designed with a little release here that it's set to shut off when the bobbin gets full. So let's see how we're going to use this bobbin winder. So the first thing in putting our bobbin, or to wind our bobbin, is we're going to put our thread on the spindle right here, put it up over top of the shepherd's hook right here, and then on this little device right here where the tension disc is, there's a little arm here with a hole in it. You want to put your thread through the little hole, come down from the shepherd's hook through the little hole, and then you're going to go around the left hand side of that tension disc, which would be the back side from where you're going to be threading it. I'll go this way. And you want to make sure that that thread is very tightly in the tension disc, just the same as you want it tight in those tension discs when it's on your machine. It needs to be tight here. Now the tension on here can be adjusted with this. It comes preset from the factory. I typically loosen it just a little bit for the way I want it. After we go around our tension disc, we're going to come up and put the thread from the inside to the outside through one of the holes. And do not pre-wrap your thread on the bobbin. Just put it through the hole. Make sure that this is tight here. And then we're ready to start. So this is on-off switch, goes always in clockwise direction. So you turn it clockwise to turn it on, turn it clockwise to turn it off. So after it spins around a little bit, the tail actually just falls right off. And the thread, this should be on an angle slightly so that the thread wraps back and forth across the bobbin. Now typically I do not wait for this to shut off. I feel that it's wrapped just a little bit too high, too much. You do not ever want the thread to be wrapped up above the edges of your bobbin. So I'm going to shut this off now. It's about ready to shut off, but I don't want it curved up in the middle so that it's higher than the edges there. So I shut it off. So a couple of tips on the bobbin winding itself. When your bobbin is wound correctly, it is very tight on here. You are not able to depress this with your fingernail. If you can depress it with your fingernail, it's way too soft, and probably what happened is the thread wasn't securely between these tension discs. Now, one of the common problems that many people have is winding the shiny tri-lobal polyester like glide thread. And the best way to do that is to put a thread nut on it, so that when it's on this over here, there's a thread nut on it. And when I run this in the machine as well, I put a thread nut on it, because this thread, as soon as the tension goes off the thread, it has a tendency to puddle right down. When it starts stitching on your machine, or when it starts to pull here, all of a sudden the tension changes on that thread. So the key to getting your thread wound nicely on your bobbin is to have a nice even tension. So that means the thread has to flow off of your cone, down through the tension disc and onto here with a nice even tension all the way around. So that's the reason for using a thread nut on your shiny tri-lobal polyester threads. So when you get done with your winding your bobbins, one of the things I recommend is to estimate maybe how many bobbins you're going to be using when you're quilting a particular project. This is for a 1930s quilt that I'm working on. I did not make it. I don't even know who made it. I bought the top already completed, and I'm just happy to quilt it. It's a beautiful top. So I chose a thread that will be similar to the background fabric in the thread, but with a little bit of contrast. So there's a lot that goes into making sure that your machine operates correctly. One of the things, of course, is making sure that your bobbins are wound well. So take time to wind your bobbins correctly, and you'll be partway there and having a very fine looking quilt. So that's it for Tech Tuesday today. I'll see you next week.